I interviewed 8 tech founders who combined raised over $100 million. That money allows them to hire you. In this video, I'm going to reveal their hiring secrets and give you 10 ridiculously simple ideas to help you stand out and get hired in tech. I'm going to replay the best parts of those interviews and also give you my advice on how to be successful in tech. Thanks for joining me on Sprint Hard, Iterate Fast. We make content to help people shift into a tech career. If you like what you see, you know what to do. Subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram at Shift to Tech with Reg. All right, let's jump into the first clip.
Identify your weaknesses. Showing vulnerability to someone that you want to work for, no one does that. Everyone tells everyone how good they are, right? You should never hire someone based off their CV because you don't really see too many bad things identified or weaknesses identified on a CV, but actually telling a potential employer where you see your weaknesses are and things you want to learn, I would actually put that person really high up the list.
Thomas Walkley. These guys are a really cool prop tech business in Melbourne, Australia. So this is just a simple piece of advice that's a real sign of maturity and self-awareness that will make you stand out. It's also some really underrated advice. Like, here's the thing. People always want to present their best selves. Like, we want to look like we've got it all together, like we're really confident and capable, but really, no one is that great. Like, everybody has something to work on and improve. I've hired a lot of people, and the ones that really stand out are the ones that are really self-aware about their weaknesses. Like, here's a way to think about it. Hiring and building a team is like putting a puzzle together. Like, talking about your strengths and your weaknesses is like describing the shape of your puzzle piece. The more detail you provide me, the more I'll be able to see how you fit and where you fit into the picture. And here's another tip. Don't do that crap where you try to reframe your weaknesses as strengths. It'll be worse for you if you get hired and you don't actually fit. Like, seriously, just be honest. Okay, what's next?
You do get a lot of CVs and people applying, and that spam approach doesn't when people have limited attention spans. I mean, I'd notice if someone, let's say, found me on LinkedIn, right? Found a way to get my email address. Maybe they even found a way to get my mobile number, right? And gave me a call through, because that shows initiative. I mean, some people may be like, how did you get my number, right? And they'd be pissed off about that. But to me, if they can figure that out, that's quite good, right? So we did this.
Okay, so seriously though, I'm probably one of those people that would be pissed off if someone called me. Like, I hate getting phone calls. But his point about taking initiative is good. Like, that can seriously make you stand out. So like, if you're a designer and you put together a set of wireframes for an improved user experience of my company website, like, I'm probably gonna notice you. Or if you're a product marketer and you put together some collateral for a mock product launch of one of our newest features, like, you're definitely gonna get an interview. When job seekers show initiative like that, it's nearly impossible to ignore it. Even if you don't land that particular job, you're going to be memorable. And in this job market, that alone can be useful to score an awesome job later down the track. Okay, what's next? Oh yeah, this is a recent one. Joanna Auburn, she founded a climate tech business. They're based in Australia and the UK. All right, let's see what she says.
I think when you're building a team and every individual has real power to shape that team in how they behave. So bringing good energy, positive energy to a team that is a culture add, as well as whatever you do in your actual role and achieve in terms of sort of projects and outcomes and things. That's something that shouldn't be undervalued. I think if you're an individual that can lift the room energy and all of that sort of thing, it's a really valuable trait to have, and in small businesses that is even more impactful. So a positive energy, I'd say, is something that I'd look for.
So I genuinely think this is underrated advice, and she actually says that in the clip. Like, being the type of person that adds happiness, positivity, can-do attitude, whatever you want to call it. It's an incredible way to stand out. And this is so true if it's a small business or startup environment. It's like a build your own pasta bar where you've got different pastas, you've got fettuccine or penne, and each one kind of absorbs the sauces differently and changes the mouthfeel. And then you've got like the sauce, like a tangy marinara or a creamy Alfredo. You could do like a grilled chicken or Italian sausage and like a savory, spicy kind of kick in there. But what she described is like the herbs and the seasonings, the aromatics. Maybe it's like a basil or oregano, even some garlic. We could be using the same ingredients for our pasta, but those seasonings can really elevate the dish. I think that's what it's like when you add someone on your team with positive energy. They really elevate everyone else. Man, okay, now I'm hungry. But seriously, this is something you can practice in your job or in your class right now. This is one of those intangible qualities that can really make you stand out from the crowd. All right, who's next?
Go and have a think about whether or not, and this isn't supposed to be sounding kind of dismissive, but go and think about whether or not working at a fast-moving, fast-paced startup is for you, because it's not for everyone. And a lot of people think it's, I don't know, maybe I'd just like play pool and lie on beanbags all day. But it's, this is a really driven environment where, we always say like we don't take passengers. And if you're someone who just kind of wants an easy ride, you want to come in, you're not really interested in learning or developing yourself, it's probably not going to be the environment for you. But if you want to come in and work with, we always talk about we don't hire an army, we hire Navy SEALs. So if you want to come and work alongside Navy SEALs and get to that level, then like we'd love to hear from you. Because if you're a driven individual and you want to come do this, like doors always open. Even if this is not a role on our careers page that suits you, drop us a line, because we've created roles for people in the past. But if you're driven and you want to do that, then absolutely come and apply. And then I think,
man, I seriously love listening to this guy. He's got such a great no BS approach. I remember chatting to him. This was a fun conversation. And his advice is incredibly insightful. Different companies have different cultures. They all run at a different pace and they have different rhythms. It's like dancing the merengue. Merengue. Can you dance that fast? Can you keep up that pace all night? Like, it looks dope, that music is fire, but I can't dance like that for too long. Whether or not I can pull off the moves with as much style is also questionable. Successfully landing a gig in tech can come down to how well you've assessed your own personal preferences and capabilities. A lot of tech companies operate at a fast pace and won't tolerate people who can't keep up. If you think you're up for the challenge, those companies are a fantastic place to be stretched and to be challenged and to figure out where the limits of your capabilities are. If that's you, I'd say do exactly what he said. Like, reach out and talk to people at the company. Talk to people at companies where you believe you will be stretched and have an opportunity for fast growth. But if you prefer to move at a more slower, steady pace, there are plenty of tech companies out there for you. I think the bottom line here, just thinking about what he said, is you need to understand yourself. You need to understand what type of company speed you're best suited to at this particular stage in your career. All right, who's up?
It really shits me when someone comes along for an interview or a conversation and they haven't done their research. Like install the bloody product. I mean, I don't mean get a loan, but there's lots of other things that are free. And so I ask people, what did you install the product? What do you think about it, right? Particularly if it's a product or design related. And it's amazing to me that people haven't done that basic step, right? So do your research, and that might be, try the product or learn about the company.
So this is the classic do your research advice. To be honest with you, that line is so obvious, we never include it in this list. But this one's a little bit different, and I'm glad it's actually in the lineup. If you're looking to work in tech, and specifically for a product company, the ones that make software that you can download or you can sign up for a free trial, sign up for the product. Like, it sounds obvious, but most people don't do it. It's a simple way to stand out and differentiate yourself. Install the product. Make some simple notes about what you like. Write down a couple of notes about the product experience, how it made you feel emotionally, what you liked about it. Depending on the role you're pursuing, come up with 2 or 3 suggestions on how to improve the product. That simple. You can include your research in your cover letter or bring it up in your interview. That's a very simple, easy one to do, but I think most people miss that one. All right, what's next?
We used to, I guess back when I was a consultant, there was always an interview thing that you'd come up with, the sort of Tasmania test, which was if I was stuck in Tasmania's airport or in a Tasmanian airport for a weekend with this person, would it be all right, or would we not be happy and never speak to each other at the end of the weekend? And I think there's a bit of that, right? We've culturally, as a business, when we've all worked together in the same location, for example, like sitting down to team lunches every day has been a big part of how we've operated. And I think you want to be able to work with people who have genuine interests outside of work, who are able to express, an individual perspective and their own view of the world and have their own experiences to bring to bear. So I think, people who can be themselves and who can sort of share that side of themselves in a work environment are, the people who we want to work with. You want to work with great people.
So, for those of you who don't know, Tasmania is a small island state in Australia. This is such original advice. I've never heard anything like this before, which is why I think we've included it in this list. He's basically saying, don't be boring. Have a life outside of work. You need to have hobbies and interests that make you a well-rounded and interesting person to talk to and to work with. I think actually the worst way to approach this is that kind of approach where you try to collect accolades or club memberships that make you appear to be well-rounded. They make you appear to be different. It's kind of the stuff you see people doing when they're applying and trying to get into a good college. There's no depth to that, and people can smell that a mile away. But if you're genuinely someone that's got an interest in sports or arts, maybe you're a competitive eater, I don't know. These things add up to personality and color, and create a profile of who you are that will help to get you noticed and to stand out. Okay, let's watch the next video.
2 is that you really have to believe in your heart that we are making something good and that we are changing the industry. And I think it's not only for us, it's also for you, right? It's okay if, you have to believe that indeed we are making something special here.
All right, Michael Roger from Prop Hero. I think you can feel what he's saying even in that small clip. These guys use data, analytics, AI stuff to help people buy and manage high-yield rental properties. We researched him before, and I immediately wanted to use their product. I told him in an interview, I said, I'm a huge fanboy. Speaking to Michael, I wasn't disappointed. He's one of the most passionate, motivational people I've ever talked to. And his advice is so instructive for job seekers who really want to stand out. Apply for tech jobs at companies that are making something that you actually believe in. I guarantee you, if you really believe in the product they're creating, it's going to show up in how you create your resume. It's going to show up in how you craft your cover letter. And it's also going to show up in how you actually go for the interview and show up to that interview. Okay, next video.
Make sure that at least you think that you are values and mission aligned with us. Not everyone's going to be, and that's totally fine, to be very, very clear. But we're going to want to know that about you. We're going to want to have a conversation with you about, what our values, what our mission might mean to you. And we want to know that you've thought about them, and that, you've decided that because of what we're trying to achieve at Joseph, it's a place that you want to work, not just because they happen to have a role going that you might be a fit for.
Okay, this was an exceptional episode. I love that interview. If you have a professional background in something like law or accounting, I think you should check out the full podcast. We'll put it in the link somewhere below here. Tom's story is awesome. Long story short, he's a corporate lawyer who wasn't really in love with corporate law. He founded a tech company that helps lawyers deliver legal services better. That's the best thing about tech. You don't need to be technical to be successful in it. So this advice from Tom is spot on. Like, I get it. You want to earn more money in tech. You want to break into tech. You see a job advertised and you think you're a perfect fit for it. But have you checked out whether or not you are aligned with the mission and the values of the company? Like, have you checked their website to see if their mission and value is even listed, and does it resonate with you? Like, seriously, just because it looks like a good fit, like, it doesn't mean it's going to be right for you. And that approach will just hurt your chances of successfully landing a job. It's not included in the clip, but I remember Tom gave some other instructive advice. He says, if you think you might be a good fit, you should reach out to someone who works at the company and get to know them. Even if they don't have a role open, just reach out and set up a meeting, using the opportunity to learn about the company and confirm whether or not you think it is a good fit. I could go on about, this point all day. Tom Dreyfus, really amazing guy. Seriously, guys, do yourself a favor. Listen to that podcast episode. All right, let's go to the next one.
What I think that you have to have a passion for something and want to bring this passion to Propio. I mentioned this guy about how he became like a developer for us. It can be anything: product, marketing, sales, operations, customer experience, being a developer, being a data scientist, like anything. But yeah, bring your passion and see how you can align your passion with our vision of like what we want to build for Propio.
It would be silly if I didn't mention passion as the number one. Again, as we scale our business, so skill obviously comes into it as well. But I'm going to lead with passion, because I think if you're passionate for any job that you're going for, any employer, it speaks volumes.
Okay, that was kind of a two back-to-back, two for one, both about passion. We've heard from both of these guys before, and I'm surprised that no one else has talked about passion yet. Some parts of me want to say that passion is cliche, a cliche way to stand out in tech, but like passion gets overused a bit too much. But the more I think about it, the more I think the context matters on this one. If you're searching for a job in tech, a startup environment, you should definitely be passionate about something. In startups, you're often expected to dive into different tasks and work beyond the scope of your job. It's an environment where people are driven to work harder because they're passionate about solving problems and they're passionate about learning. So yeah, I would say in that context, your passion is going to help you stand out and make you more likely to land a job in tech. Okay, there you have it. 10 tips to help you stand out and land a job in tech from the founders themselves. 100 million in investment. They're hiring people like you. This is what they're saying to get you to come and work for them. These are the secrets of what they're looking for. If you like this kind of content, leave us a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Merengue.